Welcome to this explainer. If you are looking at the IT landscape right now, wondering where to invest your time and energy to actually get a job, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to dive into exactly why choosing Microsoft Azure is, hands down, the most strategic, efficient, and cost-effective way to break into today's super competitive job market. Let's look at why Azure might just be the absolute key to accelerating your career. So let's kick things off with a pretty tough question. When hiring managers are flipping through stacks of resumes, why does almost everyone just have the exact same basic cloud knowledge and a couple of tiny projects? Look, I get it, it's tough out there. But right now, the vast majority of candidates just blend in. They know a little bit about the cloud, they've spun up a basic virtual machine, maybe they hosted a simple website, and honestly, that's about it. On paper, they look identical. Section 1, Breaking into IT Today, and how to stand out from the crowd. There is a huge difference between blending in with those basic skills and actually grabbing a hiring manager's attention. By going with Azure, you aren't just showing them you know what a server is. You get to show that you understand modern AI workflows and you know how to build sustainable systems. The generic candidate stops at basic infrastructure, right? But the Azure candidate brings a completely different kind of profile to the table, one that speaks the actual language of modern enterprise architecture. Which brings us to Section 2, Mapping to Jobs into Enterprise Requirements. When we analyze what big organizations are actually using, Azure repeatedly knocks it out of the park in 4 critical areas. We're talking platform as a service, hybrid cloud, identity and security, and seamless on-premise integration. This is absolutely vital because it proves Azure isn't just some theoretical thing you learn in a classroom. It's an exact map of how real enterprise networks are structured right now. Because, let's be real for a second, massive companies are almost never fully in the cloud. They're hybrid. They rely on this messy mix of legacy systems, internal on-prem servers, and various cloud services all trying to talk to each other. By building Azure skills that map perfectly to this complex reality, you make yourself significantly easier to hire. You are already solving the exact scenarios they deal with every single day. Moving on to Section 3, Faster Learning and the Power of PaaS. Think about traditional cloud learning for a minute. You can spend weeks literally just trying to configure servers and environments before you ever do anything useful. While Azure's huge focus on platform as a service, or PaaS, flips that completely. It lets you concentrate on the application logic instead of wrestling with low-level infrastructure. Because you get to skip all that tedious setup, you jump straight into building actual applications. That means you learn way faster and you build significantly better, more advanced projects. And this really comes to life when you start playing with tools like Logic Apps and Foundry. These tools let you use no-code development right from the fundamental level. You can rapidly spin up entire applications, APIs, and even AI agents. So you're proving to employers that you can deliver real, functioning value right out of the gate, which makes your portfolio vastly more impressive than the standard generic candidates. Okay, Section 4, the Microsoft Ecosystem Advantage. Here's the thing. The cloud never exists in a vacuum. Azure projects and certifications syllabi integrate incredibly closely with an entire suite of surrounding tech. We're talking .NET, Visual Studio, Office 365, KQL, SQL, and Azure Active Directory. When you study Azure, you're simultaneously getting hands-on with the exact tech stack that industry and academia run on every single day. It's an ecosystem they heavily depend on, and you get trained on it by default. And that brings us to the golden rule of this whole explainer. You are not just learning vendor-specific tools, but proficiency with existing technical ecosystems that companies already depend on. You aren't just learning a cloud platform. You are literally embedding yourself into a company's existing technical DNA. Think about what a massive advantage that is when an employer has to choose between you and someone who only knows a few isolated cloud concepts. All right, let's talk numbers in Section 5, Cost of Certification, and why Azure is just a better investment. Take a look at this breakdown based on institutional studies comparing exam costs in India. It paints a super clear picture for students. AWS certifications, those can start around 7,000 rupees and quickly scale to well over 30,000 rupees for advanced exams. Google Cloud, or GCP, usually runs anywhere from 10,500 to over 17,000 rupees. But Azure? This is staggering. Azure certifications cost an average of just 3,600 to 5,000 rupees, depending on the level. To put that into perspective, that means Azure certifications are literally 2 to 10 times cheaper per exam compared to the alternatives. That is huge.
It means you can sustainably stack your fundamental and specialized certifications without completely breaking the bank. Gaining that standout profile becomes so much more accessible.
Which leads us nicely to Section 6, building a profile and the exact standout steps you need to take. If you want to position yourself perfectly, here is your concrete action plan. Step 1, bake .NET and PowerShell right into your technical projects. If they want Azure, I promise you they absolutely want those skills too. Step 2, make Microsoft Entra your go-to for all things authentication. And step 3, target the AB900 or the Microsoft Office Specialist Associate certifications. Why? Because every single organization relies heavily on documentation, meetings, and shared access. Anyone who can manage AI tools, user permissions, and Office 365 is going to be an incredibly highly sought-after candidate. When you bring all this together, combining these 4 massive advantages gives you a seriously layered system to build your profile. You're getting an almost exact match to job requirements, way easier execution of hands-on projects, built-in training on the most popular tech stacks, all while paying 2 to 10 times less for your certifications. It is just a comprehensive, multi-angle strategy to get your fundamentals and specializations dialed in fast. Because at the end of the day, choosing Azure forces employers to notice you through undeniable alignment with what they actually need. So I want to leave you with this final thought for your own career strategy. Are you going to keep submitting identical resumes and just hoping for luck? Or are you ready to build the exact profile they are desperate to hire?